And we are live here in J&B Weekly Wrap-Up. I am Bobby Levine. Alongside me is Matt Harrington and my partner in crime, Jackson Schroeder, right here. We are also on Facebook Live, so everyone tuning in. Again, this is J&B Weekly Wrap-Up. For the first segment, we're going to get things started off here with Matt with the NBA, and then Jackson and I will dive into the NFL and the playoffs that is happening right now. But right now, we are about halfway through in the NBA season. Matt, you and I talked about earlier last week that the New York Knicks are falling apart there. Now Carmelo Anthony has come out and said that he is okay with the trade and possibly go to the Cavaliers. Right now, the New York Knicks are 18-24, and they are 12 games out of the first seed in the East. They are more than 3 games out of the playoffs as the 8th seed, barely making the playoffs. Looking at this, we talked about this too at home.
Definitely.
That Melo has been a disaster in the New York franchise, and even in Denver, has barely made the playoffs and doesn't go far in the playoffs. He wants his rings now. He's won enough gold medals for the USA team. Would you want him on your team if you're a Cavaliers or organization that is in the playoffs right now?
Melo, I mean, if you have other star players around him, he's definitely he's a superstar role player. That's what I classify him as. You know, he can spot up. He can create his own isolations, one-on-ones. But he's not the guy that's going to lead you to a championship. He's not a Bron. He's not, I guess you could say, Steph now. He's not James Harden. He's not going to be that guy. He needs the spotlight off of him completely, and he's going to thrive. That's the type of player Melo is.
Now, Jackson, I know you're a big Cavaliers fan. If you're sitting at home, obviously we'll talk about last night's game against the Golden State Warriors a little bit later. Would you want him to be a part of your team? I know you guys just got a huge trade from Atlanta with Korver. You think he would fit in with LeBron? I know LeBron's been talking about this for a couple of years now and playing with Melo. I mean, they came in the league together, 1 and 2 draft picks back to back. You think he could fit in with you guys?
See, this is a tricky thing that I've sort of been thinking about ever since I heard the possibility of Carmelo coming to the Cavaliers. But, see, I initially come to it with this standpoint, and that is, why mess up a beautiful thing? I mean, I love that Korver trade. I love having a three-point shooter outside. But it's tough because since Korver has joined the Cavs, they've been 1 and 3. I mean, that's not good. I know things will mellow out a little bit, no pun intended. But I don't know. I just, if he was to come in, if Carmelo Anthony was to come in, he would maybe take an empty spot for J.R. Smith. This is just a great team, and how we were playing earlier in the season compared to how we were playing as of now.
It's not looking too good.
Yeah, it's just. I don't know how much adding Carmelo would do to that.
I guess you can look at it as you see the NBA is tilting the shift from having 1 good player or 2 good players in every team to what possibly could be the dynamic 4 on both East and West. You got Golden State right now, who's got the big 4 with KD joining the power 3 with you got Steph Curry, Green down low, and then you have Klay Thompson shooting threes outside. I think LeBron misses that. He had the big 3 down in Miami with Bosh and Wade joining along with him. They got too old and they didn't win the championship this last year, so he went back to Cleveland. Then they got Love, including Kyrie, who's been there the whole time. I think adding another dynamic player, I know Korver is going to be good. It's very early on, but I think having a Melo and another leadership as a role model, and a guy that's old enough who's actually been and played in some tough games, could help them out big time. I guess we'll figure out and wait and see. But I'm excited. I would love to see that just because it would add a bigger storyline to the NBA. Obviously, the Big 4 in Golden State. I guess we can talk about the game right now. Last night, the Golden State Warriors absolutely throttled the Cleveland Cavaliers, 126-91. Golden State. I mean, you got to be.
Is that 35 points?
30. Yeah, huge. I mean, this is the biggest loss from a team that won an NBA championship since I think it was 07 Miami Heat coming back after that. What is your take on this, Jackson?
Well, you know, I mean, this is rough. I turned it off. I turned it off after the first half because there was no coming back. You could just see in the way everyone was playing. LeBron was getting frustrated. He wasn't making smart plays. He was being selfish with the ball, taking threes that he shouldn't late in the game. And you could just see it was the momentum coming in. I mean, Cleveland had won 4 straight, and they added Korver. They came with a lackluster attitude coming into this game. Golden State was ready to prove themselves. They needed to get that 1 win to prove that they could do it, and boy, did they prove that they could do it. But Cleveland just came into this. I mean, LeBron started the game off by talking about how he doesn't even think that it's a rivalry. How are you going to come in with that chill attitude, LeBron, and then expect to like have all your players have your back and show up as it is a big game, which it was.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you gonna agree? Or you disagree with LeBron saying it's a rivalry?
I'm going to disagree with LeBron.
Okay.
It is a rivalry. And Draymond is letting it known that their rivalry is heating up, as you've seen some of their Draymond's antics after that flagrant foul. LeBron needs to take it more seriously. I think he needs to assert. I want to see some dog out of him, and it should be good games coming forward, especially if we predict them to enter in the finals together.
I mean, in the retrospect of things, it's a regular season game. It literally means nothing because both teams.
It means something.
It means something. It means something right now.
Especially when these two teams play.
But last year, the Cavs lost both those games in the regular season against the Golden State Warriors going into the playoffs, and then they won the finals. I mean, obviously, the finals
It meant
was all
something even last year because that put that chip on their shoulder.
a little bit. I guess I agree with you on that. But last night, LeBron James had 20 points, but his plus minus, he was minus 32.
It's not good.
That is the best player in the league going
Not
minus
gonna win
32.
games.
He got a little love tap by Draymond Green, and he fell to the floor like a little baby. I'm sorry, I'm not a LeBron fan at all. Never have been a LeBron fan after he left Cleveland back in 2010. But if you're going to say this is a man's game, you get bumped like that, and then get off the ground at 1 mile per hour after a 5-minute delay, you got to. I mean, stack up, LeBron. I'm sorry.
There's a point in where he was trying to sell that. And I mean, I get it. He's trying to sell the foul and trying to make it seem worse than what it is. But come on, bro. Like, you can't be just falling to the ground.
Did you see he came out after that, and when people asked him if he was hurt after that play,
He was like,
he said, "I'm a football
I'm
player."
a football player. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Last time he took a snap was freshman year at St. Vincent St. Mary, back in high school. So if you look at the standings right now, the LA Clippers are the 4 seed out west. They have an injury bug right now with Chris Paul. He's going to be out a couple weeks now. They are 7 games back. They're 29-14, 7 games back from Golden State, who is in the first place now. They've won 4 straight, 8-2 in the last 10. Are the Clippers going to fall off a little bit here and possibly drop to the 5 or 6 seed with that?
There's going to be some drop down. Chris Paul is definitely one of the top 3 point guards in the league. He's a true point guard as well. He's not a scoring point guard like Kyrie or a do-it-all point guard like Russ. He's a true point guard. He's going to get his teammates involved, and that is going to dip down. I mean, you have Raymond Felton coming in as a backup, and unless we see something maybe like his North Carolina days, I don't know. I think there's definitely going to be a drop down, which goes to the question, is Chris Paul the unluckiest player in the league ever?
I don't think he's the most unluckiest player ever. He's supposed to be out 6 to 8 weeks with he's getting thumb surgery. Excuse me.
That's a big setback.
It's a huge setback. I mean, he was talking about coming in last year and this year, saying this is the year they need to win.
Exactly.
They have all the players there. They got Doc still there helping them coach. They definitely need to stay. I mean, the injury bug's gonna hurt everybody every single time. It seems to hit a hot team at the wrong time. This is what happening to the Clippers right now. I'm looking at this as hopefully he comes back for the playoffs healthy, and then they can move from there.
You know?
I mean, they're going to make the playoffs. You look at the West Conference right now. The top 7 are going to be locks. Thunder and up. The Blazers are still 7 games under 500. I mean, the Clippers have to lose almost every single game the next 2 months to not make the playoffs.
They're not going to have Blake Griffin with them for a while, and without, here's an interesting stat: without Chris Paul and Blake Griffin, they're 3-9 overall.
But
that's not good numbers.
There's not good numbers. Again, they're going to make the playoffs. Let me ask you guys both this question: if they get them both back and healthy for the playoffs, do you see Houston being able to stop them if they end up matching up together? That's
Definitely.
a 3 and 4.
I see the Clippers being out of whack. They won't have that chemistry on the floor like they displayed this past year. And it's going to take a while to get that chemistry and conditioning back. So I definitely see Houston having a chance to knock them off.
Oh, I completely agree. I mean, even if they do have him back in time for like a late playoff push, they're just not a well-oiled machine at that point. They're playing with backups the whole season, and how are you going to bring in, even if they are superstar players, how are you going to bring them in and expect them to gel like they were earlier in the season after months and months of practice?
I'll tell you what, though, the backups, they'll enjoy this playing time.
I mean, yeah, you got to get your back. You got to have a good bench. You saw that 2 years ago when Golden State won the whole thing. They had a solid bench. Last year, they had a solid bench against the Cavs, but LeBron was just too amped up, and Kyrie Irving helped out big time. But I'm looking at the West as that they're very dominant. The Clippers, I think, could possibly beat Houston if they were going head-to-head. Obviously, it'd be a long way away from now. Houston tonight, though, getting they got beat, by the Miami Heat by 6 points. Miami Heat right now are 11-30. I know that's your team.
Yeah,
what's going on with them? I know they lost LeBron and they lost Wade.
We have a lot of production to replace, especially in D Wade, who's going to be our all-time, the best player that we've ever had, besides Alonzo Mourning and Tim Hardaway. He's way up there. That's a lot of production lost. So with that being said, we're in rebuilding mode right now. We're waiting on this year's draft class, which looks pretty good to me. What I've seen so far in college basketball.
Mark Loving?
Mark Loving.
Yeah,
I'm
Mark
not
Loving.
going to get started on him. But there is this one young guy, Malik Monk. I like him. Or Lonzo Ball. I really like him. Miami, better get him. I'm going to be mad. I'm going to send you some hateful tweets. Don't do that.
So looking at your coaching, though, with Eric Spoelstra, obviously he came in as a young coach, watched film, pretty much got his way up to the head coaching job, took over.
Spo's the man.
You love him.
I love Spo.
Keep Spoelstra?
Keep him there.
Keep him in Miami?
Keep him there.
Anything else you want to add about the NBA before Jackson and I take over about the NFL?
Interesting fact, Blake Griffin is remaking the movie White Man Can't Jump. Excuse me, plural. White Men Can't Jump. White Men Can't Jump. So this will be interesting to see, along with those other rumors that he's making a Space Jam movie as well, Space Jam 2.
So LeBron's not going to be Space Jam 2?
I have no clue.
So Chris Paul's injured and Blake Griffin's making movies.
He's doing whatever he wants out there in L.A.
Is Woody Harrelson going to be able to dunk again at the age of 55?
Probably so. Woody Harrelson's the man.
He's the man.
He's one of my favorite actors. Yep. He's a do-it-all guy. He's very versatile.
Well, thank you, Matt, again for coming on a J&B Weekly Wrap-Up. He is our NBA insider for this week. Hopefully we have him on for next week.
I'll be here.
Your mom watching right now or no?
Here. She's not, but I'll be here.
He'll be here.
Remind her.
We're on Facebook Live right now.
Watch.
Again, check it out.
You guys watch.
There you go. Thank you very much, Matt, for coming on. Jackson Schroeder and I are going to hop on into the NFL moving forward now. There you go. You can dab. There it is.
That one.
Congratulations to your Atlanta Falcons.
Well, thank you.
First off, I told you they're going to win this ball game. I think their offense was too strong. I believe Seattle's dynasty is now over. They won this past weekend, 36-20. Matt Ryan lighting it up all the way. Defense holding him strong. The problem though is Julio Jones. Is he going to be healthy for this weekend's game?
Yeah, Julio Jones will be good. They asked Dan Quinn, Falcons head coach, for those who don't know. They asked him what his opinion on how Julio would be, and he said that he'll be ready to rock, and that's a quote. So I think we'll be doing well with Julio Jones in the game there.
Now, this is the last game in the Superdome before you guys move next door to the Mercedes-Benz Dome.
The Georgia Dome.
The Georgia Dome, sorry. The Georgia Dome, now moving next door to the Mercedes-Benz
Yeah.
Dome. You're going to be taking host against the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay Packers, that game was the best game we've seen all playoffs. Ezekiel Elliott just had a great game for the Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott, hands down, showed why he deserves to be the starter there in Dallas moving forward. 3 field goals that were tying your go-ahead field goals under 2-minute warning in that final game. Green Bay ended up pulling it off with a Mason Crosby huge field goal late as time expired. Do you think you can stop the Packer and Aaron Rodgers this upcoming weekend?
Well, it's tricky. I mean, I didn't think that the Falcons would match well with the Seahawks last week because of the Seahawks defense. I thought they could overmatch the Falcons offense, but I think maybe I'm underestimating that Falcons offense, and more importantly, underestimating that Falcons defense, because everyone raves about the Falcons offense, and maybe the defensive numbers aren't there, but as of late, they have been there. The only place that they've been struggling is in the red zone. But other than that, the turnover ratios have been great for Atlanta late in this season. They're on a roll too. I mean, the Packers are obviously hot, and there's a history behind them, and I think they have the confidence. But if the Falcons can jump out early, maybe with the touchdown, maybe a couple touchdowns, and a field goal to get going, then the momentum's going to be on their side. And Matt Ryan and Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman, they know that they've got the guys to get this done and get to the Super Bowl. And before the season even started, they were predicted to win maybe like 4 games.
Absolutely. Now I'm gonna look at this though. Looking at the Green Bay Packers. Did you watch that game against the Dallas Cowboys?
Oh, of course.
What was your take on the last couple minutes there? Obviously, that I know it wasn't a count as a Hail Mary from Aaron Rodgers to Cook going to the sideline, but it ended up being a Hail Mary of its own, setting him up for that final kick. Were you pleased or impressed with Dak Prescott's play in a stage just like this? Obviously, they didn't play the opening round because they had the bye as the number 1 seed. I guess you could say, is Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers the most deadly team right now to be scared of if you're playing? Obviously, you're playing them right now, being an Atlanta Falcon fan, but if you're anyone else, say the Patriots or the Steelers moving forward, are they the hottest team in the playoffs?
I think they're the hottest team in the playoffs. I don't think that they're the best. I think that they're, talent-wise, I think they're the worst out of these 4 teams in the playoffs. But, yeah, they're hot. And Aaron Rodgers can get the job done week in and week out. And he has a mentality about him that he doesn't care who he's playing. He could be playing Tom Brady. He could be playing Big Ben. He doesn't care. I mean, he doesn't. He's just a great guy who comes and gets the job done week after week. And when the Packers are hot, the Packers are hot. You know, everyone was sort of predicting them to beat the Cowboys because the Cowboys are young. I was actually surprised that the Cowboys stuck with it that late and had that late 18-point fourth quarter comeback there to get them back in the game. But yeah, I mean, I think they're the scariest team right now. I think that I would rather play, especially the Steelers. I don't know if I'd want to play the Patriots, but the last team I'd want to play is the Packers right now.
We'll talk about last week's game before we talk about the predictions for this upcoming weekend for the conference championships. The Patriots took hold of the Houston Texans in Foxborough, absolutely destroyed the Texans and Brock Osweiler. Some final stats here. Brock Osweiler had a horrible game, went 23 of 40 for only 198 passing yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions, was sacked 3 times. Tom Brady, though, didn't have the greatest game either. He also threw for 2 interceptions, had 2 touchdowns, though, 287 passing yards. Huge game, though, from Julian Edelman. Absolutely, he had 8 receptions, 137 yards. His long was a huge touchdown, or a huge breakaway that he had. The Patriots are scary. They're staying at home this weekend, playing the Pittsburgh Steelers, which we'll talk about next. You think Pittsburgh is going to win this game at home?
Oh, I don't think so. I think that the Patriots will win this game.
So you think that New England's going to win?
Oh, yeah, I think New England will win this game at home. Yeah, definitely. I just think that they've got too many weapons. Tom Brady needs to be careful, though. He I don't know, maybe he's gotten too cocky, but those 2 interceptions in that game doubled his regular season interceptions. He only had 2 interceptions in regular season to 28 touchdowns. I don't know if the Patriots come in this game and just sort of brush it off, then they could get beat. I mean, it's definitely not out of the picture. When they played the Steelers, did they play the Steelers earlier?
Oh,
Yeah. They were against a weak Steelers team with and Big Ben was out, I believe.
I think you might be right. They beat the Steelers 27-16. This was in Pittsburgh, though. I'm gonna talk about the Steelers game right now. The Steelers beat the Chiefs 18-16. No touchdowns for the Steelers. All field goals, 6 of them. My question is, moving forward here, the defense for the Chiefs, we knew coming in this game was going to be outstanding. The bend don't break mentality. They're going to give up a lot of yards. They'll allow you in the red zone, but they do not allow you to cross that end zone line. It showed reasons why. This was the first time ever in an NFL playoff game a team has won, not scoring a touchdown, and getting outscored by 2 touchdowns. That is the Chiefs losing to the Steelers. And then after the game, a little craziness that happened in the locker room with Antonio Brown, Facebook Living as we are right now. He ended up pretty much had like an 18-minute video of himself behind all the lockers, had a couple teammates come on while Coach Tomlin and Big Ben were talking. Big Ben came out and said pretty much that he wished that he was listening to. I don't know. What's your take on this?
Well, my take initially on this issue was I don't even know why it was a storyline. I think it was dumb that Antonio Brown did this. I mean, yeah, but he's hyped up after a game, and he's like a young athlete who likes to have fun. I mean, that's sort of how I took it. And for people to find offense to Mike Tomlin's comments, those people are living in a box or something. I mean, you really think that your football coaches after and before a game when he's pumping up his players doesn't swear? I mean,
no. I mean, you got to look at Mike Tomlin. That guy,
he didn't say anything that bad even. Like, I've heard way worse from my high school coaches, right?
Do you think out of any coach? I mean, I look at Mike Tomlin. He's a guy that you would think that would get in someone's face, like a player's face, if they didn't do their job right, and will definitely let the player know and have it if he doesn't do his job right correctly. I've seen him get all happy too and say, "Let's drop the F-bomb. Who cares? I mean, he's getting the job done. Let him have it." The Steelers got a huge win in Kansas City. That's a road playoff game at prime time. That game got moved from 1 o'clock to 8 o'clock. Get them mentally prepared for that one. KC, they get up for their games. I mean, they call it Arrowhead Stadium. It gets super loud, one of the loudest ones in the NFL, if not the loudest one. Steelers went in there. They got the job done. Not much offensive productive other than Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown had 6 receptions for 108 yards, and Le'Veon Bell had 30 rushes for 170 yards rushing. He also had 2 catches for -4 yards. Still getting the ball there. Definitely the defense will be a little lighter going against New England. I guess we can look forward to this matchup now. We'll start out with your game, though. The Green Bay Packers going to Atlanta. Atlanta is favored by 4.5 points. The over-under is 61, which I think is a little low. I don't think any of these defenses can stop each other. I think this game's going to possibly be like a 38-31 final score.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a stat the other day. When these two teams met in the regular season, Atlanta won that game, but Aaron Rodgers rushed for his career-high 60 yards. I don't know if that speaks towards Green Bay not having a running back right now, or he just got lucky or something, or poor defense from Atlanta. But I don't know. I think this is going to be a high-scoring matchup, and how Atlanta beats this team is offense, offense, offense. You got to pound it on them. And if you outlast Green Bay, and I think that you can, because Green Bay is very one-dimensional. I mean, they are very strong in that one dimension, but if you can if you can just tire them out and score more points than them, I mean, it seems as simple as that, you know. I mean, it's just a battle of the offenses. And since Atlanta has a possible MVP candidate, well, he is an MVP candidate, possible MVP champion, and Matt Ryan slinging the ball to Julio Jones, and then you've got Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman running the ball. That's like the best offense in all of football, I would say, right now. So I don't know. That's the only way they can get it done.
Both teams are very hot going into this game. Atlanta's no joke, no slouch. A lot of people have not seen them at home. A lot of people talking about that this weekend with me. They're saying, I don't know how good Atlanta is going into this game. I said they got the 2 seed for a reason. They got the bye. They were 11-5 in regular season. They have the most deadly offense I've seen in a long time. Matt Ryan finally trying to show himself why he's a great quarterback. In my opinion, deserves the MVP. Was number 1 pretty much the whole year in fantasy football as a quarterback. Julio Jones absolutely lighting it up for him. And as you said, there's lightning and thunder punch with Coleman and who's your other running back?
Tevin Coleman and Devontae Freeman.
Excuse me. Yeah, back and forth there. Not household names, but they're definitely great running
backs.
They
will be household names.
They should be household names. Yeah, I mean, it's tough, though. I mean, obviously, you're a small market compared to Green Bay and Dallas because they get on every single week. But this weekend will be all lights shining down there on the Georgia Dome. Tickets right now going for sale for $366. You know anyone going back home?
Not that I know. No.
Okay, because that ticket should be worth a lot of money just because that's also the last game there. Now going up to Foxborough in Massachusetts, we got the Steelers 11-5 against the Patriots 14-2. Those regular season numbers. The Patriots are favored by 6 points. Who do you have in this game and why, Jackson?
Well, I've got the Patriots in this game. I mean, it has to do with that they're at home, but also Tom Brady's not going to lose this game. Tom Brady is the best quarterback in football right now, possibly the best of all time. They've got a stellar defense, and where they're best on their defense is that rush defense. And so you're going to keep Le'Veon Bell in check. He's not going to be running in between the tackles. I can guarantee you that. They're going to have to get him out on a lot of swing passes, maybe some tosses. But he's going to have to beat them with speed because they're not going to be able to run up the middle like they'd like to a lot with Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to see what happens this game. I think that the Patriots will also win. I think that Tom Brady wants to have a chance to get that Lombardi trophy from Roger Goodell after the 4 games suspension to start the year off. I think that'd be very comical as you see Roger Goodell's going to stay in Atlanta back-to-back weekends and watch the games there. He does not want to take over and get that hatred he gets from everybody, especially up there. Looking towards this Sunday, though, it's going to be 40 degrees and overcast. I still think Tom Brady's going to light it up. The defense for the Patriots, again, should step up. Big Ben, though, and Antonio Brown, they should be able to get a hold of each other, get over 100 yards. I do think so. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. The over-under in this game is only 51. I can see the final score being around 31-26 maybe. Still in favor for the Patriots. I think we're going to have the two hottest quarterbacks this year going head-to-head for the Super Bowl. I think it's going to be Matt Ryan and the Falcons against going Tom Brady and the Patriots in Houston in 2 weeks, and I think it's going to be a barn burn showdown there.
I can't wait for that. I sure do hope the Falcons pull this one out. I don't know. They definitely could. I don't know if I would have them as my favorites. It's tough for me to say because there's so much bias.
I mean, you're allowed to have bias, though. This is the first time the Falcons have been this deep in the playoffs in a long, long time, if not ever. I know your friends back home are probably all talking about that on Facebook. A lot of my friends are Pittsburgh Steelers fans. I'm wearing the yellow for them right now. It's a huge win for them. I did not think they're going to beat the Chiefs, but they got it done, and now they're in Foxborough. It's going to be an interesting game. Any last words before we end this podcast in the Facebook Live video?
That's all I got. Excuse me.
All right, well, again, this is Jackson Schroeder. I am Bobby Levine. I want to give a huge shout out to the Blue Jackets tonight, picking up a 4-1 victory against the Carolina Hurricanes. Huge win for them moving forward. So, yeah, carry the flag if you're a Jackets fan. They're playing hot. Hopefully we can have a hockey guy come on and join this podcast later this semester. Again, I'm Bobby Levine. Alongside me is Jackson Schroeder, and this is the J&B Weekly Wrap-Up. Thank you guys for watching. I don't know how many people are live here, but thank you very much. Again, we'll be here next week.